Om Shanti and welcome back to an all-new episode on Light of Knowledge. Our topic of discussion today is the purpose of life. If we were to take a survey and ask people what their purpose of life is, we would probably get different answers, such as being happy or looking after your family, taking good care of your family, finding a good job. And those with a bigger picture might even say that their purpose is to serve humanity. And there may be some out there who might say, we have no clue. So to take this discussion up further, we have a very special guest with us in our Godlywood studio, Brother Michel from Paris. At the young age of 22, Brother was drawn to a Brahma Kumaris Center. His inner quest for knowledge led him to the center. And from that point on, there was no looking back. Within 2 years, he helped establish a center in Paris. Since Brother has traveled all over the world, spreading his spiritual knowledge, his spiritual wisdom with people, and helping people solve their problems. So let us all welcome Brother Michel Simon. Om Shanti and welcome to Godlywood Studio and welcome to the show.
Okay, thanks. Pleasure for me to be with you.
Thank you. Brother, like we said in the introduction, our topic of discussion today is the purpose of life. And I'm going to start off with a very basic question. What do we exactly mean by purpose of life?
Yeah, the purpose of life, is englobing many aspects. And in just a very simple sentence, I will say, what is my representation of life? And within that expression, I can put the quest of the self because, yes, I need to know myself and I need to know how I can participate, contribute, do something which is useful, within life, for society. And obviously, the purpose of life will it in a very global way, with one little expression. What is my representation of life?
Okay.
And in that expression, I will be able to answer all the main fundamental questions that a human being is asking himself about who I am, where do I come from, what is the finality of life, why I am here on earth, what to do, if there is a God, what he's doing and what is my relationship with him and what I have to expect from him and then and also what is my part, what is the role I have to play, in this life, and also connected with that is the question is, are we on earth to be happy or to suffering or to be peaceful or to have anger, and can it possible to destroy our ego and our negativity? And, when you answer all of that question, then you can find the exact most precise purpose of life, because everyone will have his own understanding for his own purpose of life. But the finality of finality is full, total happiness.
Okay. To me, it sounds like I was under the impression, that it would be just one single answer, like my purpose is to do this. But it's very interesting the way you put it. Can we say that representation of life, that is like the main purpose, and within that there are sub-purposes? Can we look at it that way?
Yeah, well, obviously, for me, I will say everything starts with me, the self, So, if the self is good, you have a great deal of chance, to take right decision and to do something good and to have good relationship, good social life. If you feel not so good, it will impact you on your relationship and dealing, with life and taking decision, and your choice for life. So everything starts with the self anyway. And as we usually say, it is the self, the soul, which is doing everything, So for sure, first is starting with me. And that is why we always say, to to do and to have, you know. So, but first we have to start with to be, which means make sure that you're okay, you improve yourself, you know yourself, you have your own self-awareness, you have the power to improve and change yourself and to make the best of yourself, you know. And that is really the first step of the purpose of life, being, you know, and remaining in the being, which the finality of the being is, we call it self-sovereignty, which means whatever you're feeling and your thought, it's under your control and you express it because it's meaningful and it has quality and value and wisdom within it.
You know, to me, it sounds like what you're describing is, sounds like a higher purpose. The common man is so caught up in his mundane lifestyle, like me, my family, my job, my bank balance, my house. So for a person to sit down and look at the self and the bigger picture, it just doesn't seem to be happening these days. So my question is it okay to initially start with a smaller purpose? You know, like I'm going to keep my family happy. And maybe once you're happy with the family or you are fulfilled that you're doing your share to keep your family happy, then maybe you move on to something bigger.
Yeah, the thing, in fact, you never, usually, for ordinary people, because let's exclude the mystical people, which get born like that, but for ordinary people, it's a process. Life is a process. So obviously you start with, each one will start with one type of process, It can be, as you say, to be more taking better of your family, to make your family happy and to have more harmony and create the happiness and the good environment for your family. And even that, is asking a lot of understanding, wisdom, attitude and insight, to do that work, because the family is already a community and you have to adjust yourself with already different personality, even if it's your wife and child, still they are very personal identity,
Yes.
So it's already a personal work to do that, And obviously, if you achieve it, you can naturally, when we achieve something, we always want to go to the next step, because if you have an aim and you achieve an aim, then you have the awareness that no, let me have another aim, because you cannot stop when you have achieved an aim. You don't want to get stuck in the aim accomplished.
Right. So to me, it sounds like your purpose of life could change over a period of time. It's not going to stay what it was 10 years ago. It's not going to be the same now. Is that true?
No, the thing is, according to the ordinary people, you can say it's like that, but it's, I will say it's part of the process to achieve the global purpose of life. But because each one will have his own vision and understanding according to their personality and according to their education and influence and according to what is they are made for just now, So they will do it, because some will say, let me have a career, let me be successful on money level, or let me do something special, that no one else has done, Okay. So, yes, but as I say, once they finish, because you can see, as you finish, they have another aim, which means, but each aim is part of the global purpose of life.
Okay. So what I'm understanding from this conversation is, no matter how selfish we may look on the superficial level, each one of us is truly walking toward that global purpose. Because like you said, even to take care of the family is not an easy job. You have to be giving and caring. So is it okay to say that step by step, all of us will eventually reach the global purpose?
Yeah, anyway, we are human beings, and our human condition doesn't allow to grasp the full knowledge, the full global purpose, and we, because of our own limitations, so we have to go step by step according to the circumstance of life where we are, and but every human being has a chance to achieve the global purpose. But again, we can see that in in the humanity, we have different family of, I will say, of souls of human being. You have the Christian family, you have the Hindu family, you have the Muslim family, you have the Buddhist family. You can say even, you can have the Chinese family, you can have the Indian family. You have the capitalist family, the communist family. So each one will find their own purpose according to the representation of their own family of souls, which are totally committed and understand and which suitable for them.
Okay, I understand. So society can play an influence on deciding what your purpose of life is.
Yeah, because you are part of the society. And even, as I will say, even to use another name that society, I will say community. Or family,
Okay.
Like, as I say, family of Chinese, Indian, Hindu, Buddhist, it's family, which means it's where, I recognize myself, I find similarity, I find, and that is why I use that word, family of souls, where the value, the principle, the way of life, the aim, where I can share something which is very intimate, where only within my family of souls I can share. Because if I share with someone which is not part of my family, they will not understand, and they are not part of it, and they are in another way, So obviously, the sharing will not really be understood by the others, and also the relationship,
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Now, you use the word family of souls and different communities, we can call them, or societies. All the human beings on earth, every person who's born, is it necessary for each one of us to have a purpose in life?
The thing is, when you look for a purpose of life, it means that you want to function, to act, to live with a meaning.
Okay.
And when there is a meaning, there is reason, there is some wisdom, there is some values, there is some goodness, and obviously, with the purpose, there is not just you. There is you and the people around you. So it means that it will, as you use the word selfishness, that will allow you to break your selfishness. And breaking your selfishness means you are open, you are growing in your awareness and consciousness, and it's part of the self-development and the improvement of the person. So it's, I will say it's fundamental, and those who for any reason doesn't have a purpose of life or doesn't think about it and doesn't think that there is one, I will say they miss a lot.
Okay.
And because they miss a lot, they will maybe not achieve so much in their life, or they will not be so happy, or they will not be so good, But obviously, each human being, sometimes, life is such a variety, and that is why we have to be very careful. Someone can, by nature, everyone by nature has many value, and that is the good things about life, and about human being, And so, someone which has many value, he may not think about purpose of life because he just uses value, and he's happy by using his value, and he gets success with his value. So then he's fulfilling a purpose of life just by using his value without noticing that this is purpose of life.
Okay, so he's labeling it as values, but he's actually following the purpose of life.
You can say that, yes, yeah.
I've heard some people say that having a purpose in life makes them want to wake up or get up every day in the morning because it gives them a goal. It gives them something to look forward to. So how does that work?
I will say it's create the greatest motivation and inspiration in life, when you have a purpose, because you feel that you have a responsibility to fulfill and you have to achieve something, you have to work, This will allow you to be active, constructive, creative, instead of being passive and negative, So obviously it will change completely your vision of my life and what I have to do in life, So obviously when you get up, it means I have to work on myself, I have to learn something, and I have to share something.
Right. I've also read a book in which the author says that the purpose of life is to live in the present, where everything happens in the present. So is that also, does it sit well with your idea of a global purpose?
Yeah, for me, I always say, yes, obviously, being in the present is very important, obviously, because it's the reality and we can work and be very functional in the reality. But I always say, life is not just the present. Life has three aspects: the past, the present, and the future. Because your present is according what all your past action and is creating your personality. And that is influencing your present. So in your present, when you are in the reality, you can see the way you express, and that is allowing you to understand that about something about your past, and it's allowing you maybe to understand that your past has been a mix of good and bad, and you have to work on yourself to make yourself better, And but the purpose of life is to achieve the aim. The aim is always in the future. So whatever I'm doing in the present is because my future is present in my present reality,
Right.
So I can never forget my future. No matter even if I don't know my future, but I have an aim for my future. No matter how much I will reach my aim or not, but by keeping my aim, it still gives me a direction for my present.
Right. So the present is a bridge, actually. If I look at it that way, the present is a bridge between the past and the future.
Yeah, exactly. Usually I use the word crossroad, but the bridge is exactly good. Yes, for sure. Yeah.
And but in spirituality, I mean, you're always told that, forget your past or don't worry about the future. So, from what you're telling me, if I have to, is it kind of going to keep me away from my present? If I have this goal, it's always good to have goals. But if I have to keep focused on the future, am I going to lose out on my present?
No, because it is your aim and your goal about your future which will allow you to decide for what to do in your present, which will give the meaning of your present. Okay. Because, in a very simple way. For example, if you take a sportsman, so his aim is to run the 100 meters in 10 seconds or even less, by chance, So because he has his aim, he knows that every day he has to train. He will not go to the cinema or to dance or to go to learn singing, No, the present is connected with his goal to reach the aim of running the 100 meters in 10 seconds or less.
That's right. So I guess it is important to have that goal in mind. So if someone realizes that, okay, I have taken care of my family, but that's not enough for me. I have a good job, but that's not enough for me. So when these kind of thoughts come within you and you start looking for a higher purpose, then yourself is the place to start, as you said. So when you say the self, what is it that you're referring to?
As you say, I have to take care of my family. Mm-hmm. What does means, in fact, in the inner process? In fact, that person start to think about, yes, I have a wife, I have a children, how can I be good for them? What was they are? He's asking question to himself, and he try to find the best answer so that he can have the best attitude towards them and fulfill their need,
Right.
and to make them the most happiest and content.
Right.
But if you look at properly, all of that is the inner work of the person,
True.
Something which is from the inside. So it means he start to already create self-awareness without noticing, and at some point, if he's achieving, the harmony in the family and the contentment within the family, it means he has. I'm sure for myself, it means he has become very self-aware of him consciously, and then he understands that. No, it was good to do that for the others, but no, it's good to do it for me. To have really that harmony within myself, that inner contentment, that betterness, that improvement, because yes, at some point, that the key word is self-awareness.
Right.
And that is why when you have a goal, you have to work from the inside to reach your goal. And as much as you work like that, for some people, by chance, they reach the point of self-awareness and they start to work on themselves first, and others maybe don't do it, but that is why we can say it's the fortune or the destiny or whatever we can say like that. But for some people, it can be, anyway, systematically will be the key for having the self-awareness.
Okay.
Because you want to improve yourself or improve what you do, and the improvement of what you do for others or for whatever it is, your job, or it's allowing you to check yourself, see yourself.
So once we start on this process of self-awareness, what exactly, because there are seekers out there who want to go deep within, but may not necessarily know how or what they have to do. So what is the process of going deeper into self-awareness?
Well, self-awareness, for me, I will say that to make sure that each and every thought, each and every feeling is right, accurate, positive, good, powerful, meaningful, successful. So as long as I haven't reached that, because we know sometimes we are sad, we are negative, we are jealous, we are unhappy, we reject people, and so on and so forth. We are bad, sad, mad, okay, whatever it is, Okay, so I have to conquer that. I have to transform that. I have to put aside that all away of me, and to make sure that, again, as I use the word self-sovereignty, means whatever thought and feeling I have, it's good, is elevated, is powerful, is nice, it's useful, is meaningful, So that is why, it's the self-awareness will allowing me to transform, or as we usually use the expression, check and change, stop a thought which is wrong and say, but no, to stop, because we don't think just according to we always think according to a reality. So if a reality, a circumstance, a situation, a relationship with a person is allowing me to think in a wrong way, yes, it's good to stop, but then, it means that to create the right thought, it means let me find the right interpretation of the situation, so that I can have the right thought about the situation.
Right.
So spiritual knowledge is absolutely necessary, in the process of purpose of life. Without so when I say spiritual knowledge, it means the wisdom which is telling you about what is the truth, what all life is working, what is all inside the life, and what is the finality of life.
Very well said, because those of us who are on a spiritual quest, it's very important for them to know. And I like the way you said it, that without spiritual knowledge, you cannot go any further. I mean, it comes almost hand in hand with your spiritual quest.
Because when we say spiritual knowledge, what does it mean, in fact? Because we speak about the self, The self is that being, which is a being of thinking and feeling and decision and understanding. And that is I am spiritual, because thinking and to understand and to interpret and take the right decision, it's a spiritual activity. And that is why we can say, and who is making life? We, human beings, but we, the human self, we, the human souls. So that is why spiritual knowledge is connected with who I am, and it's connected with life. That is why we use the expression spiritual knowledge.
Knowledge, very true. And we can make our entire life spiritual, like you said, by check and change. I mean, if we are going to take any steps, every time if we stop and ask ourselves, is this the right step? We check ourselves and we change ourselves, then we are getting closer to our purpose of life.
At least that is one of the best process for sure, because obviously the self is which is doing everything. And so obviously if I already work on myself, that is the main process. But we should never forget that me alone, I'm limited. So obviously a piece of something is missing, and that piece is God, So that is why I include God in the purpose of life, and I have to know Him, and I have to have a relationship with Him, and I have to take benefit from Him, and I have to make Him my companion of life, so that because that will helping me to achieve my full purpose of life.
What you said about God, I totally agree with that, because anyone who wants to bring about any kind of change in him, without the power of God, there is no way that they're going to be able to do that. So with these words, I would like to thank you for this beautiful discussion that we've had so far. And unfortunately, for lack of time, we cannot continue this discussion at this point, but we would definitely love to have you back with us in our Godlywood studio so we can talk to you some more. Thank you.
Okay.
Like Brother said, I hope you got some good tips out of this conversation, got a better feeling and a better understanding for what the purpose of life is. And two important points to remember is check and change, and always keep God as your companion, because that is going to go a long way in helping you achieve your goal. So thank you for watching us, and this discussion will continue. So we hope to see you again in our next episode. Until then, take care and Om Shanti.